even this book has. Even the streets are important will be better, or wherever you are looking. Even in my heart, I will be more calm. I fought the good fight. I am moving forward with my life. And I want to move forward in peace and joy and calm and balance. My journey began after I left a high-stress corporate job and then accidentally blinded myself with the right eye. I'm eternally grateful that I had the right surgeons in the right place at the right time. After numerous surgeries, I could see again with a special contact lens. That was what I did. That's when I realized I needed to do something different about my life. I was not stuck there. I finally saw I can get out of my square box that I've been in all my life and move to a better space. That led me to feng shui, where I found peace, balance, calm, and alignment. And I'll tell you right now, if you eliminate the chaos in your home and eliminate the clutter, you have already taken the first step in making your life better. However, if you eliminate clutter in your home, you need to start then eliminating here too, because you've got to bring your body back into alignment with your surroundings. Otherwise, you'll have to struggle in here mentally with all the calm around you. So that led me on my journey. I was in love. It was my passion. I moved from there to creating art. A lot of my book covers and my own artwork. Some of the books have my artwork inside. They were all part of my journey, but I realized as I created them, they're all part of all of our journeys. We're all somewhere on the journey, some just beginning, some partway along, some further along. There is no right and wrong. Your journey is your journey. Your choices are your choices. But you make choices. We have been given the right to make choices. And that's where you learn. If your choice was not aligned or not in alignment with who you are, you have to work through that choice and figure out what went wrong and why you should move forward. And what does forward look like? For me, that turned into a book called The Way We Live, which has a lot of artwork and the story. I wrote it in verse. I've never written in verse. I picked up journaling. And the journaling came in verse at first. And I'm telling you, the first time I picked up the book, I said, well, Lord, I'm here. I've arrived. I'm writing. What am I supposed to be writing? And I talk about the weather's beautiful today, and this went on for 2 or 3 weeks. And I think, this is journaling. And then all of a sudden, one day, I started to write in verse. I have never written in my life in verse. And that verse turned out to be all of the words in my book, The Way They Go. And the artwork I painted over the next 10 years or so, only to realize they were meant to go together. They told this story together. I moved on from the journaling of the verse to them really moving deeper. That took me into listening. In order to hear the Creator's voice, you have got to listen. The Creator speaks to us, but we're so busy, wrapped up in our everyday lives, we can't hear. You have to quiet the mind. Stop thinking about who's calling you or who's posting something or what work you have to do. You have to quiet, to stop and say, quiet your mind and hear. God speaks, God answers, but you have to be prepared to listen. That led me to my next book called With. There's 7 principles in there that's really a bit of a modern day 10 commandments. They're just common decent things, the way people should treat each other with respect, honor each other, honor the earth, honor this world we have given. That's when I thought I was done writing, was with the Looking Within book. And the Creator taps me on the shoulder and said, no, I'm going to send you a helper. So he sent me a spirit guide. That spirit guide is Thoth, the ancient Egyptian. And everything he has taught me since is all about the ancient rules that God created when he made the earth. I wrote one book with Thoth where it was just conversations. We literally would sit down at a table and talk, or he'd take me to one of the ancient libraries, whether it was the arts or whether it was history, creativity, beautiful, like arboretums filled with all medicinal trees, and took me to the healing center, giving me an idea of what the world should look like, how we should move forward beyond where we are from this crisis last 2,000 years. And that's when I thought, yeah, I was done. I hold a group at my house once a month of just people like you that come. We break bread together, we have a meal, and then somebody teaches, and I teach from my books quite a bit. And I said to Thoth one day, I'm going to have the group here in 30 days. I don't know what to teach this time. Oh, that's right. I think you need to teach, I'll read you this message. You need to teach about sacred shapes, and you're going to teach how humanity has to thrive in the new age of Aquarius, using these sacred shapes the Creator used to not only build the universe through a single thought, but to build humans with those very same sacred shapes and that very same thought. That's where the concept comes from. We're all connected. The universe is the above. We are below. What's above is below is within. So that was my mission a year ago. The sacred shapes that he had me study and work with are all on the poster. I didn't realize at first we were writing another book. It wasn't until I got through lesson 3 that I realized this is supposed to be in a book because it's supposed to teach other people. The sacred shapes, while there is sacred geometry, which is mathematical, the sacred shapes are not mathematical, nor are they meant to be architectural. If you go in Europe and travel through old magnificent cathedrals, there's a lot of these sacred shapes that were used to build all the structures, of which we can't replicate today. But they came from the Creator and Thoth, and the Creator asked that I reintroduce these to help people like those of us who have now gotten to the point in their life where they realize there is something more than the schedules we're on, the appointments we made, the social media, the phones, and the television, all of that. So we went sort of into a deep dive on these sacred shapes, and that's in my book, Awakening Together Now, which is in my book, just around the corner. The sacred shapes are living energy tools that are divine blueprints carrying the vibration and frequency of creation itself. If you can wrap your head around that thought, I can stop talking right now, because those shapes are what God created the universe with. If you talk to physicists and a lot of the mathematical geniuses, the Einstein, they can tell you exactly how these shapes and formulas were used to create various aspects of the universe. But the part that has been forgotten, because it was all mathematical, is that these shapes are also within us. The original shape from the very first one, which is called creation, and I will talk about that in a little more. The second shape was called the viscous, which is like 2 circles.
I did see the flyer for that. I heard plastic bag.
Think about it. Out of the seed of man and woman becomes a cell, and that cell replicates by splitting and dividing. And then those cells split and divide again. And that's how creation happens in humans. But it's very similar to the original creation of atoms. Think about the little particles that exploded in the water. So the connection is
And I'm like, God, this probably doesn't even exist anymore.
the objective of these shapes is to awaken our heart centers so we stop living up here where chaos and fear can drive you absolutely crazy. But live from here where you do what you know is in your best interest, in the Creator's best interest. There is no harm to others. Sacred shapes are tools needed to create new living on planet Earth. They are part of the tools Father gave you to work with, help work with people to understand they can have a better life. They don't have to put up with this. And the overall picture, the more of us that realize that we need to live from the heart side, the more the communities grow, and guess what? As you grow into this new life of more peace, more joy, more hope, more love, the other has to make room for it, because positive, good energy always overcomes. It's like darkness and light. You can throw light into a room, but if you shut the lights off and try for a room of darkness and light, you can't do it. You just can't do it. Light, referencing the Creator and God, light overcomes the dark evil that's going on. Things people underestimate the importance of the shift from the age of Pisces into the age of Aquarius. It's been 2,000 years since we have gone through it. And my son and I were just reflecting the other day on my grandmother was born in Europe, so she's an immigrant. But she was born at the time, I want you to think about it, my grandmother, at the time the Native Americans in the West were still fighting to hold on to their land. Think of all the miraculous things she saw in her 90 years of life. Airplanes, automobiles, television, heart transplants. I mean, the list goes on. Just wait to see what comes in the next 200 years. It's going to be as magnificent as not better. I firmly believe within the next 200 years, we are aiming toward a new renaissance. And you're going to see what happened in the 1500s happen on a spiritual level, on a health level, and a technology level that is revolutionary compared to where we've been. So there's three things I'd like to share from the book, if I may. First, a single thought created everything. I am not religious, but I'm very, my message is not from a religious perspective. I do attend church, but my message is from a creator of God, the first source perspective. Everything was created by God, the creator source, and He, I prefer using the whole he, she. God is an entity unto being created. But the Creator took sacred shapes and created the universe and humanity. Everything is connected, and you just remember the above and below. That's an easy one to see. And the statements above and below are truly back to ancient times. It's true today. Point two, order can be born from chaos. Look at what God created for thought. When you stand, you're sitting, you're standing. Just on one thought. If God can turn chaos into harmony, and And God created us using the same tools. And the message is we can also create harmony and peace in our lives. That's the soul without soul. And you are a co-creator of life. The sacred shapes are anything.
There's a lot of love.
They are the new language for a heart-centered These themes run through the writings of the poster diets, I even have emojis that are online now available from my website at HEYDLAUFF.com. I'd like to invite you just to focus on the shapes for a few minutes. Row 1 is called a single flow. This row is where we live every day. And whatever shapes we live in those shapes. I want you to see if one speaks to you. We decided whether it's that's where we start to grow and move forward. That's where we start to realize, oh, there's more to life than just going to work every day. That's where we find passion. That's where we find purpose. And guess what? Get set is perfect balance. Oh, it's like a lot of cultures known as the yin and yang. It's when you find balance that you can find it. When you're so busy working or so busy being stuck on other duties instead of nurturing and caring for yourself, you can't get to that space. You've got to go to that space of connecting to and then the bottom row is sort of spiritual. It is the row where spiritual mastery merges.
Do you know Nanette? Do you know Deborah? Nice to meet you, Deborah.
If you can take from those two fields, again, select a shape. You go into, there is a shape in those rows. One is, and focus on that shape. That shape, the first shape in the first row is where you're going. The shape you picked in your second row is your mirror. It is where you are either going, what you're trying to learn, what maybe you should let go. As you grow, you need to let go of a lot of things, some of which are old. So I'm going to just ask for a little interaction. Somebody want to tell me where they are in the line? Which shape speaks to you?
Spiral.
It's spiral. Anybody else? The spiral tells me you're on your spiritual path. You're growing, you're learning, you're seeing, you're wanting to expand. You're no longer living on the square box. Somebody want to know where they are in row 2 or 3?
In row 3, the flower one.
So row 3, once you get down there, you are in the truly spiritual side section. That means you've gone on that spiral for quite a while, you found balance in row 2, and wherever else you went through row 2, and then on row 3, you're now at the very first one. Flower of life is the most spiritual of the sign, the most powerful. It can be found in caves, in the pyramid structures in Egypt. It has been on, you see it on altars. It is the most powerful. If you focus on it, it will help you on your spiritual journey. Anybody else? All right, so what you need to know is we live in World War, and everyone is real closely afterward. I stop on my boat. There is a gold dot. That gold dot, God is ever present in your life. No matter what you say, where you go, what you do. The Creator, God, Source. I don't care what you do, especially the divine entity. Use the word divine. It's not related to religion or church. It's everything. That gold dot symbolizes purity and God. And where you are on that chart, you are hardwired into God. It's just that somewhere between creation and trial and spread the first world, it got taken out of it. Parents, grandparents, school teachers that don't believe in anything like it. It's really squished. Colleges,
Closer speaking. We need to go sit down. We'll wait out here. Thank you.
Oh, sure.
together we are the architects of the one human and love over the world. And together we create our earth. This is our time, our renaissance, to build the light within our hearts. If you enjoyed this session, check out our event, say hello, introduce yourselves, you can connect with us, see the work, and together we are making it together. We are virtual.
What creed are you on?
I'm right inside the door to the very first one.
Thank you so much.
Does anyone have a question for Pat while we await our next speaker? Any questions?
Yes.
Is there somewhere in your booth that can get this chart?
Yes. It's 11 by 14, 12 by 4. That's in it. I have four cards, posters, and books, and emojis. Thank you.
Let's give Miss Pat Hedloff a nice round of applause.